Hey guys, it's been a long day for me. I was away from home all day, and when I got back, a storm had knocked our cable out, so I couldn't get on the internet. So that was a blow, but it's come back up now. So we're 10 days into the basketball season now, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. Actually, we're not quite 10 days in yet because the Jazz and Spurs are playing right now, and at the conclusion of that game, we'll be 10 games in. But looking around the league, I kind of wonder to myself, who have I overvalued and who have I undervalued? Let's start in the Eastern Conference with the Atlantic. Um, Boston, I think I might have undervalued a little bit. I mean, I think the main concern with them is how do they keep this up over a whole year because they are old, they are going to run low on gas at some point. But so far they've been blowing out everybody. They're 6-0. They're winning by an average of 18, 19 points. Their biggest, the closest game they played so far was the game against the Timberwolves with no Kevin Love, which is bizarre, but they did pull out the win there. And they just look like a dominant team that has a lot of guys that can shoot threes, a lot of guys who play good defense, and it's just going to be really hard to stop them early in the year. Now, later in the year, that can change, but right now, Rasheed Wallace, I really didn't think much of his offseason signing, but he's been huge so far. So I think I undervalued them. Philadelphia, I think I might have undervalued them as well. I know they're only 2-2. I know they're 3 games back in the division, but I think I undersold them a little bit just because Iguodala is better than I thought. So far this year, he's been playing like a superstar. He's been playing like a bona fide number one option. He's been getting close to that triple double area a few times this year. So I think I undervalued them just because I undervalued Iguodala a little bit. He's better than I thought. So they're a team that might do better than I thought this year. Chicago, I don't know. I've seen a couple of their games, and I don't know what to tell you, but I know Derrick Rose is playing hurt with the ankle injury, but I from night to night, I just see different things from them. But John Salmons has been ridiculously inconsistent, and I don't know if I undervalued or overvalued them. That's a tough one. That's difficult. I If I had to guess, I'd say maybe I undervalued them a little bit just because Derrick Rose is going to be better. Cleveland is obviously a team that I oversold a little bit. I was a little high on them, and um, they can't defend a pick and roll to save their life with Shaq. They've got no imagination on the offensive play calling end. I mean, there's still time for them to fix this, obviously, and they could still. And I think they will put together a nice run at the end of it, and they'll win the division and have a very strong seed. But it's a little concerning because Shaq can't defend the pick and roll, and they're trying to incorporate him into the team, but really, they it seems like they're better with him off the court, and that's going to be really awkward for them to try and deal with. Let's see who else. Who else? Miami, I might have about sold correctly because I think I had them getting the fourth seed. If anything, I might have undersold them a bit, but I'm gonna say I did about right there. Atlanta's 4-1, but I don't trust the 4-1. Orlando is a team that I actually think I seriously undersold. They they go so deep, it's crazy. They don't even have Rashard Lewis back, but when they get Rashard back, if they use the lineup that they should use, their starters are going to be Nelson, Carter, Barnes, Lewis, and Howard, and then the backup unit is going to be who's the Jason Williams, I think his name is the backup point guard. Uh, Pietrus, who's their other shooting guard? Another guy who's actually JJ Redick, Ryan Anderson, and Marcin Gortat. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous backup line to have. I don't know who will be able to stop that at the end because a lot of those guys are pretty young too. A lot of people said in the preseason that if the Magic get anything out of their backup point guard, who in this year would be Jason Williams, they would be unstoppable, and that's really what I see right now. I know they still can't get over the hump against Detroit, but that doesn't matter because I don't think they'll be playing Detroit in the playoffs, and Detroit just isn't really that good. So at the end of the day, Orlando's going to find a way to beat them. I really do believe that. And then you have Washington. I know they're only 2-3, but they're going to get Jameson back, and I still think they're going to be where I thought they would be. Find a way to get it done in that division. It's a tough division, though. In the West, Denver. Maybe I undersold a tiny bit, simply because Carmelo is ripping it up right now. Go look it up. I mean, Carmelo might be the MVP of the league right now. The dude is on fire. He's scoring every way imaginable. Every time his team needs a bucket, it seems like they're getting it from him, and he just takes over the game. I don't know. Here are a couple teams that I think I oversold. The Thunder, they look a little unimaginative on offense. Portland, they're not invincible at the Rose Garden anymore, and when they're losing at home, it's just not good because, the Andre Miller thing clearly isn't working out. Brandon Roy can't carry them, and it's not looking great for them right now. I really don't like what I've seen. I've seen them play a few times. I don't like it. And Utah, I don't know. It just seems like when the chips are down, they lose big leads and they find ways to blow games, and I don't think much of them either. So those are three teams I might have oversold a little bit. Phoenix looks like I undersold. Right now, Steve Nash is playing amazing. Stoudemire hasn't actually gotten all the way back yet, and they're still playing well. Grant Hill still piecing together a nice season. Channing Frye, holy crap, Channing Frye's playing well. I wouldn't have predicted that in a million years, but he is, and I don't think it's going to keep up just because it's all dependent on Steve Nash, and Nash is a pretty old guy, but right now, they look like they will be in the playoffs, and I didn't think they would, but they look like they're going to be there. Who else? Maybe the Clippers I oversold a little bit. Mike Dunleavy has a more negative effect on them than I thought. But in my defense, I made that Clippers prediction thinking that Blake Griffin would be there, and he's not. And that's significant. I'm not going to say I oversold San Antonio just because you kind of knew they would suck on back-to-backs because of their age. But other than that, they're pretty much who I thought they would be. Dallas, I think I sold about right. Maybe I undersold them a little bit. But that's a really good team. They don't even have Josh Howard back. But when they get Josh Howard back, they're already good right now. I've watched their loss against New Orleans. It was a terrible loss. Shouldn't have happened. But it was kind of fluky. It really should not have happened. And they really should be 4-1 right now. So I think that's a really good team. Sean Marion gives them easy buckets that they didn't get last year. Or really in years past, because all of their shots were jumpers that were difficult usually. But when Howard gets back, they're going to go with a crunch time five of Kidd, Terry, Howard, Marion, and Nowitzki at the 5. And that's going to be sick, because all those guys can shoot threes. Excuse me. All those guys, except maybe Howard, are really good free throw shooters, and Howard's reasonable. And off the bench, in that situation, you're still going to have Barea. You're going to have Dampier, who's having a nice year, which is shocking, I know, but he's having a decent year. They're going to have a guy like Humphreys coming off the bench, who's contributed nicely so far. And they might come up with a couple other bench players in between now and then, but I think that's a team that might push for... they might push San Antonio for the Southwest Division, actually. But more than realistically, I think they're looking at the 4 seed, which would be great for them. I said earlier that Houston was going to be a little bit of a sleeper, but they're actually a little better than I thought they would be. They play really well together, they do some things well, and that's enough for them to win games, and I'm impressed. New Orleans, I oversold. This should not be happening. I mean, Chris Paul, David West, Emeka Okafor. That's one of the top 5 best, top threes in the league. Those 3 guys will go up against the best 3 guys in the league any day of the week. But it's completely unbelievable how they get nothing from pretty much everyone else, except for Stojakovic once in a blue moon. And, they're getting nothing from their other starters, nothing from their bench players other than sometimes Peja. Bobby Brown is freaking horrible. And I don't know, but it's pretty ridiculous how bad New Orleans seems to be this year. But, anyway, that's it for the NBA so far. That's who I've oversold and undersold 10 games and 10 days into the season. And I'm done, so I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys are enjoying the NBA season, and I know I am. I'm out.